The Gospel of this Saturday, Mark chapter 6 verses 30 to 34, recounts that moment when the apostles returned. Jesus had sent them out 2 by 2 to have an experience, a first experience of evangelizing, of preaching. They return, and the following happens. The apostles gathered again with Jesus and told him everything they had done and taught. He said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a little." For there were so many coming and going that they did not even have time to eat. They went away by boat to a solitary place. Many saw them leaving and recognized them. Then, from all the villages, they ran on foot to that place and arrived before them. When he disembarked, Jesus saw a great crowd and had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. That is, at the moment his apostles return. Jesus understands that it was necessary to seek a little. He says, a little rest. Let us go to a solitary place to be by ourselves and rest. But as we have heard, the crowd does not allow it. They arrive before them, and Jesus reacts with patience, with mercy, temporarily changing his plans and preaching the word to them. Why do I dare to say, temporarily? Well, I dare to say it because I have no doubt at all that Jesus would try again until he managed to have that time of rest in a solitary place with his apostles. I am sure of it. Why? Well, because it is a sign of humility. Jesus is humble and teaches humility to the apostles. He teaches them to recognize their limits. Many times, behind frantic work, behind that activism that sometimes happens today, or is lived out in work, there is a hidden pride in not recognizing one's own limits. And also, surely Jesus would do so, because in doing so, he would also be teaching the apostles that the work we carry out, that mission God has entrusted to our hands, is not ours. We must let go of what God has placed in our hands. It belongs to God, and therefore we are also called to place it in God's hands, and not to think that we are indispensable to carrying out God's work. And thirdly, surely the Lord would do so because he also wanted to help his apostles prioritize moments of prayer. In our life, the time of prayer, the contemplative dimension, balances the active dimension, in which we are beggars of grace, in order to precisely make the work of our hands fruitful. May the blessing of Almighty God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit descend upon you.